My oh my, have TikTok ads changed. I did not plan on making this video, but this is one of the biggest shifts that I've seen in a while. My ads have done a 180 and they are crushing it. Today, I'm going to share with you exactly how to set up your ads and the difference now with scaling and managing the ads that's been so successful. And nobody's doing this yet, so jump on this early. Now, before we can run ads on TikTok, you need a good store and you need a good product to sell. Those are non-negotiables. I now have an AI bot that will build you a custom, unique store and preload it with winning products that it pulls from my product research list. We do a lot of research every single week, so you can get a custom store in like the next 15 minutes for under 20 bucks, and it's refundable if you don't make money after 3 months. Shopify is paying my team a pretty decent sized bag to help build people's stores and get them started. The cool thing for you though is you don't have to cover that big upfront fee. They're doing it for you. And I send you a bunch of cool stuff with the store, a course on how to run it, how to run the ads, how to manage everything. You get access to my private supplier. They automatically fulfill your orders, a bunch of other small things. And the best of all that's relevant to this video, you're going to get a special link to open your TikTok ad account with. You're going to want to use that link that you get after you buy the store, because TikTok is giving our folks up to $1,500 in free ad credit. They match whatever you spend up to $1,500 bucks. So it's just free money. It's absolutely nuts. Shopify's covering our fees, so we're not making any money off your little 20 bucks. And again, that's refundable if you don't make money after 3 months. So let's dive into some specifics here on TikTok. I have an ad account open and there's some things I want to show you. But before we can do anything, you have to get these 4 things set up. First, your payment method needs to be linked to your ad account. Your pixel has to be set up. You need to get your ads made. I'll show you this in a second. And your ads have to be uploaded to a TikTok page. So make an account and upload the videos there. Now, this one is very easy. Go into the business settings on your TikTok account. Same here. What you're going to do is go up over here under tools and go to events. You can set that up. If you need help with any of these things, type in pixel setup right through the TikTok help center, or you can look at plenty of YouTube videos on how to do it. The ads being made, you're either filming these yourself or you can use a service called VEA. This is viral ecom ads. Very simple, high quality service that gives you one of 2 options. And this is not sponsored. You can either send them your product and get UGC ads under here, right? UGC ad packages, a little more expensive, but you're going to have to wait a little bit. Or they can go scrape the internet for dirt cheap and go find you a bunch of videos that are at least good enough to test with. Very easy way to get started, but you're going to need those. And then Spark ads. Again, just go here, type in Spark ads, and it's going to share with you exactly how to set it up. It'll take you 2 minutes. You just post them on a TikTok page, and then you grab the ID for that post. That's all we need. Now, I flew through that stuff because it's simple stuff, and I want to get into the meat of it here, which is the ads. This is an old ad account that unfortunately has been suspended a long time ago, but it spent about $98,000. So I'm going to use this as an example. This was the old way of running ads, and I'll share with you, if we go to which one spent the most, this was selling jewelry, you can see the budgets on these things, okay? These were just sitting like this. They'd stay here for a week, $1,000, $500, $2,000, $900, $800. You don't do that anymore. You can. It's just very inefficient optimizing, and I'll tell you why. When you leave a budget at $1,000, it does still have a spend cycle throughout the day. You know, it picks up during the day and it slows down the spend at night. But I have found at night is hot. Late into the day, woo, great. But in the morning time, the first 7 to 8 hours of the day, it still starts to spend more, and it's just inefficient. And as the last 3 months progressed, I noticed it was just less efficient. My results were going lower. Here is the solution. I'm going to give it to you after I show you how to set up your ads when you're just getting started. I don't want to get into the scaling stuff too quick. So let's go back over here first. Stick with me for a second. We're going to hit create. We're making a campaign. This is exactly how you test. No fluff. You don't need to buy something to learn how to do this. This is really simple stuff. The aggressive stuff comes once you're like scaling and really trying different. So we're going to go over here. We're going to do website conversions. If you ever talk to a TikTok rep, they're stupid. They're going to tell you not to do this. Ignore them. Trust me, I have the data to back it up. I can show you the spreadsheet. Campaign name, whatever you want. CBOs. We're not going to touch it on this one. I'm going to hit on how effective these are in a second. Okay. So we're going to continue. Now that we're here inside of the ad group, here's how I usually name my ads. I'm always running to the US and Canada, and I rarely separate those out. So I no longer even start my things by saying US, Canada, and I separate here with a dash. You might say, why am I talking to you about the name of the ad? You have no idea how important this is. I fired one of my team members for fucking with the names a year ago on like all of our ads. They went in and just like I don't even know what they were doing. Gone, fired immediately, because it makes it so much easier to run your ads. Maybe I'll put no interest. So you're going to see why this matters in a second. Select your TikTok pixel, and from there you can select the complete payment event. That's equivalent to a purchase. We want to optimize for getting a purchase. If you talk to a TikTok representative, they'll tell you view content, add to cart. I have seen no material difference in running ads on any different level. And so it's not better doing view content. I just go to purchase, okay? Leave this alone. Manual placements here. We're going to only do TikTok. It's the only thing you can do when we're running Spark ads. Continue on here. We don't have any custom audiences. We can add in Canada here. These, for me, I'm running ads from the US. These are by far the two most effective spots. I leave this alone. I leave this alone. I do target 18 plus, both because these people usually don't spend money and we can't track them anymore with the iOS update from like 2.5 years ago.
Whoa, it's Hayden from the future. Real quick, our deal with TikTok that gives you up to $1,500 in free ad credit will be expiring soon. So make sure to click the top link below and buy a store so that you can get access to that link and all the other cool resources.
This is not really going to make much of a difference. If you're selling super high ticket stuff, you could give it a try. Household income, same deal. I've tested it lightly. Now, the interests and behaviors. This is where we are inputting who we want to target. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep scrolling. Okay, you'll see why. Daily budget, $50. That's what it automatically puts. I think the minimum you can do is 20, but you're going to leave it at $50. That's it. Now, as of when I'm filming this, it's the 28th, apparently. Friday, we are going to move this forward because we don't want to start these ads. Granted, it's 8 a.m. in the morning, but we don't want to start them usually. Like I could launch them now, but schedule for the next day. Have them start. And you might be saying, Hayden, you just said the first many hours of the day are terrible. You're right. They do suck, but you're running a low budget ad. It does not matter at all. Okay. So we're just here to warm things up, get it going. And I'm going to walk you through that. Day parting, leave it alone, especially for now. Optimizing goal. There's two things you can do here. You're going to have access to conversion. And if your account's brand new, you're going to see value, but it's going to be like whited out. It's going to be gray. You can't click it. That's something that unlocks once you get about 20 sales. And it's actually a really effective optimizing event. So those are the two that I test between, but lowest cost conversion for now is totally fine. Now I just want to jump back up real fast and explain the interest structure here. I'm going to put a no interest ad. Okay. I'm also going to do conversion. I'm probably not going to say that up here in the name because I can't do anything else, but I do mention that in my name. I'll put conversion. I'll do C or I'll do V. One of those two, just so I know, is it conversion or value? That's something for later. I want my names to be as short as possible. So I'm going to do no interest, right? Which means I'm targeting everybody. Take very close notice here of the size. I'm going to blow your mind if you don't run TikTok ads. This is how many people we're targeting, okay? This is what people don't understand about targeting. When I go down here, let's say gifts and flowers. Cool. Watch, it just dropped, right? Got cut in half. Now, when I expand it again, it just goes back up to the same exact number. So you can use interests as a framework to give them an idea of who you want to target, but still be able to target everybody. And that's why the audience actually doesn't technically matter, but it will change your optimizing. So when I go launch a couple of initial tests, I don't really care what I'm doing as long as each of them are different, right? So this first one's just going to be no interest. That's it. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to hit next. Okay. It's going to make us do this, whatever. All right. Again, so it's down here, hit complete payment. Boom, boom, boom. We go. And that's it. Now over here under identity, you're going to want to use a TikTok account to deliver Spark ads. You don't actually have to link an account. Like this is my personal one used for an example. Use other one. So old store, authorize, boom. So this is where you put the code that you get here from the Spark ads. Okay. Never mind. This is the TikTok Help Center. You got to go to the TikTok business one. My bad. So that's right here. And you can, again, go type in Spark ads and see what you need. Overview, creation guide. It's really, really simple to grab that ID, but just know that this is where you paste it. Then you hit search. Good to go. You're going to come down. You're going to choose it right here. That's where you select it. Okay. Now you're not going to be able to modify anything else because the text, which is like your ad copy, if you will, on TikTok, is right down here. It's at the bottom. It's whatever description or caption you used when posting the TikTok. So just be conscious of that when you're posting it. Then the only thing we're going to do is we're going to be putting our URL. That's it. Okay. It's a very simple thing to do. I always leave the link option as dynamic. And what that means is it saying register now, shop now, order today? It tests. It tests between all those and finds what works best. Again, haven't noticed a big difference, but I do notice that TikTok prefers if you just let them do their thing. Just like leave the ball in their court. Let them choose. And that's actually worked quite well. And it used to work well with budgets, but not anymore. So from there, we're going to hit submit and you're done. Ad number 1 of 2 is live. So now let's pretend like one of these is that one. Okay. We're going to go over here and hit copy. Okay. So ad account's disabled, so I can't. We are going to duplicate it into the same campaign. And the only thing we're going to change is the interest. That's it. And there's a lot of things you could do. You could have one that's no interest and one that's automatic targeting, one that's no interest and one that's an interest that's expanded. It really doesn't matter a lot. I prefer to usually have an interest expanded and another no interest. You can also have 3 if you want to start at 3, but do 2 ads at $50 a day. Now, that's how you start. I am completely moving on right now into the more scaling and how to manage your ads, because that's all I care about. Okay, these ads were sitting at higher budgets. This is now different. These are $50 a day when I'm running ads. What I'm doing, I'm not looking at this. I'm not looking at this. Don't give a crap about this or this, or like nothing. The only number that matters to me is this and this against how much I spent. I want to know how many sales did I get? What was my cost for each? And how much did I spend? Which is kind of deduced by just multiplying those. So let's say that I'm willing to pay $90 for a purchase. That to me is acceptable. Anything above that, not so much. Here's what I would be doing. Let's just assume all 3 of these are at $50 a day. This one's good. This one's great. So what am I going to do? If I come here and at 11 a.m. I check my ads and this is what it is. Let's just pretend. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go back over to this budget. And at minimum, I'm going to double it. So I'm going to go from 50 to 100. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Now, this other one that's terrible, I might lower the budget. Even if it's at $50, I might be lowering it back down. And of course, that 50 wouldn't make sense based on the purchase here, but you get the example. If you are above your target purchase, lower the budget. Create a restraint, you slow down the spending, and that can actually help it optimize and get more sales. You're telling TikTok, I do not like this result. And it's the reverse. If you're underneath it, every hour during the day, sometimes I will go through every 2 hours, doesn't really matter. I scale aggressively. So every hour I'll raise the budget. Even if it got no more sales, I might raise it again because the cost is still under my target. It's not based on the amount of purchases. It's based on the cost. Now I do like to see the purchases rise, but if I'm scaling aggressively, I still will do it. Even if this doesn't go up, which means the cost went up, but it's still within my parameter. So that's where I go over here. And now I'm changing the name. Every day, let's say it's the 28th of the month, I'm doing this. I'm just modifying this, 2x at a 24 CPP. And I also mark how many sales it had. This is exactly how I name my ads. You'll see me have something like this. I'm just going to give you an example. This is how my ads will look. And all throughout the day, I'm adding these little dashes to separate. So I know when I look back, okay, in the morning, I doubled it at a 24 cost per purchase with 7 sales. Then I tripled it at 21 because it dropped. It had 11 sales. Great. I'm going to do it again. Like, what are we doing here? And so if it's not working, I'll put, cut 100, or I'll put cut 50%, whatever the number is. But again, I still put at what? If it was at a 27 because it was above my number. So it's really a simple framework here. Let me break this down so simply. If it is at your target or below, raise the budget. If it's above it, lower the budget. That's it. Now, the last step inside of this is budget change. So I can't actually do this on this account. I should have grabbed one that was active, but you can click edit and you can schedule it. So every single day, this is the biggest change here. Every day, my budget resets to $50, maybe to $75. If I'm really feeling ballsy and I have a lot of stuff that's working, I might leave one at 100 or 150. But that's it. I reset almost all of them back to $50 to $75. And that's because it's just inefficient spending in the morning. And what I noticed is when stuff starts poor, it does not usually turn around. So I'd rather control it, have it get 1 sale by 11 a.m. instead of 20, get 1, but that 1 be at a good purchase, and then start jacking up the budget. So the majority of my sales come in the afternoon. As those budgets, you can imagine how quickly they get raised. Now, there's 2 things I need to talk about here. I'm going to jump to this Google Doc, is talk about budget tracking. And I don't mean you tracking the results. I mean the pace of the spend. If let's say it's 9 a.m. and we have a $50 a day ad running. Okay. It's just stick with me here. And I raise it to $100. Okay. When I check back in at 10 a.m., it didn't spend 100. In fact, here it had probably only spent like 21. Okay. And by 10, it's not going to spend the full amount. So here's what I mean by this. I might have started something that was $50 a day. And at the end of the day, it's at 800, but it's only spent $291, right? Even though it might have been sitting at $800 a day in spend for the last 5 hours straight. It does not increase pace. And so to fully spend that budget is very difficult. It just does not happen, okay? I will tell you where it does happen a little better. And the answer to that is CBOs. I promised you I'd come back to it. Do you guys realize like how valuable this stuff is? This is so good. But this stuff's crazy. So for CBOs, $100 a day minimum budget. That's our minimum standard. If you want to go above that, go for it. 3 ad groups, okay? Same videos. These ad groups have different targeting. I don't care what you do, but different targeting. That's it. Now, TikTok released a stupid feature, so bad, there's now ABOs inside of CBOs. So in the CBOs, your ad groups have budgets. If you've ever run ads before, that's like me and my friends are, what the fuck? Or like, what is this? It's just different. It's weird. So you can also internally adjust as well as macro. I don't have as much testing data on that. I've been playing with it for 3 weeks. I've only spent maybe 30,000, which is just not enough. And only half of that was probably on CBOs. So nowhere near enough on that to understand the correlation between the internal ABOs on the CBOs and how that dynamic works. So I control still more at a macro level, but I'm playing around with these throughout the day. Haven't been able to twist these to get better results without changing a macro, but I'm working on it. So CBOs are really efficient. That's not something I would start with testing, but when things are working, you're doing this. By the way, this whole thing, everything I've just explained to you is called surf scaling. It's an advanced strategy that I've taught in my programs and coaching group for like the last 4 years. It's nothing new, but I feel like it's about to become very popular. I mean, beforehand, like almost anybody I worked with, even if they were making $1 million a month, had never heard of surf scaling. They never changed their budgets intraday. They never did it inside of the day. And so it's just a different, more aggressive, very aggressive strategy that's also active management. Okay, this takes a lot of work. Okay, I have an alarm on my phone that dings every hour. Like, it's annoying. But that's what you're doing if you're scaling hard. And this is how, right now, it's working really well on TikTok. And so it's the easiest way to get to a couple thousand a day in sales. And to be honest, if you're not making a lot of money, haven't made a lot of money before, who cares what you're having to do? Get to a couple $1,000s a day. Like it makes a difference. So yeah, this just gives you a lot of firepower. And I have noticed, I just want to point this out, that the more you do that, especially at the beginning of an account, the more sales you get, momentum, you can start to launch some higher budget ads and leave them. But this just doesn't work right out of the gate that well anymore. So it's a huge change. And I hope you recognize that. Like, I'm not putting this info behind some fat paywall. Like this is, we go more in depth on this for our coaching students and stuff and help them run ads live and whatnot. I have a small coaching group, but it's like, this is it. I just explained to you how to do it. Now, yeah, you got to go do it, but like, that's the entire strategy there. And so the CBOs are the same. I'm still doing the same naming strategy. I'm doubling the budgets. I'll bring CBOs up to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a day. Again, that doesn't mean they spend that because of that spend tracking. So just keep that in mind. But that is exactly how I'm launching and scaling ads and crushing it. Now, to add something that I know people are going to ask, when to cut something. You heard when I trim down when things are not working. I often trim down, but when I'm first starting an ad, if it gets no sales for the first 2 days at $50, I'm turning it off completely. I might not be moving on from the product, but if I want to keep testing the product, I'm going to do new videos and change up the ads. I'm going to do different targeting, different stuff. Maybe I do $60 a day instead of 50. So I'm going to do something. But if you have ads that were working and they stop performing, keep them on. You can just like suppress the budgets a lot until they re-optimize. You know, I might change them $5 throughout the day, go from 50 to either 45 or to 55. That can help re-optimize. But multiple times I'll suppress an ad by $5 if it's, if let's say I'm trying to get a $25 purchase. If I'm at 25 and nothing's happened, I'm going to lower it to 45. And then it's $30, I'm going to lower it again. Like, you can't actually lower to match it. TikTok makes you do, I think, a 10 or 15% spread. But the one thing I do want to close off with on the CBO side of things that's not as cool, you can't schedule a change on budget. You can't do that. And this I really dislike, because if I'm doing exactly what I showed you, where, you know, it starts at 100, by the end of the day, let's say it's at 1,000, which means it's probably spent, you know, like 360, right? Let's just say it's there. I can't lower the budget to anything below like $400. So whenever I'm done on my computer at the end of the day, I got to reset it to 400, right above where it's already spent, which means the next morning is probably going to suck. Over 60% of the time it sucks. That's like what my data tracking tells me. And I don't like that. So the new thing I'm testing with is turning off. So I'll actually, when I'm done, I'll adjust the budget and then I'll turn it off. And then in the morning, I can turn it back on and readjust because it hasn't spent that or spent anything throughout the day. That I've found to be somewhat effective. I just don't like the idea of toggling ads on and off. So again, this is still in the testing phase when it comes to the budget shifting because scheduling is not allowed. I don't want to get too in the weeds with scaling because I can talk here for hours and hours, but there's a lot of fun stuff here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. TikTok is ridiculous right now. We got 3 ad accounts going ballistic, a new one that's up to 2,000 a day in spend in the last 2 weeks. Crushing it. Very, very, very profitable. Active management, so it takes a little more work, but get yourself going. There's so much space to blow up into Q4 right now. So if you don't yet have a store and stuff set up, or your store and product are not selling, you're not getting consistent sales, buy a store from us. It's really not about the store as it is what you're getting with it. People are like, well, what's on the store? The store is decent. It's not like crazy. It's just a good, simple store, right? We built an automated system to build it for you. You get to choose some colors and layouts and stuff like that, and you can modify it however you want after. But you're getting the course, supplier, some other resources, the discount code, the stuff for TikTok, which gives you up to $1,500 in ad spend credits. It's just nuts. So go ahead, click that link down below. It's under $20 to grab it. I promise you we're not making the money on the front end there. Shopify's paying us to do it, so we're getting a big fee on the back end. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I just tried to give you as much, as quickly and unprofessionally as I could just on how I'm running ads. I mean, this was basically an SOP training for our media buying team. I mean, that's what I'm doing later today, is filming exactly what I just filmed and way more in depth for our team so that they can know how to do it. We have a couple new hires that are going to be running TikTok ads for us. So they have to know exactly what I just showed you. I will be sending them this video. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Grab a store. You can get a couple of the things down below. I'll leave that resource there. Leave a like on the video. I'd appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate. Just leave it in the comments. I might make another TikTok video soon. So put it down there. Hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.